A king lifts a cup of wine at his own wedding feast. He drinks. He laughs. Then he starts to cough. His hand flies to his throat. His eyes bulge. His face darkens from red to deep purple as the court watches in frozen horror. No blade touched him. No arrow struck him. No assassin rushed the dais. A crystal no larger than a seed killed him in front of the whole realm. It is called the Strangler. So what is the Strangler? Welcome to Westeros Within, where we journey into forgotten ages, hidden legends, and ancient mysteries. The Strangler begins as a plant, growing on islands in the Jade Sea far from the courts and castles where its victims die. Its leaves are harvested, dried, and steeped in a mixture of lime, sugar water, ash, and rare spices, until all that remains is a dark crystalline residue. What forms are small purple crystals, glossy and hard, sometimes mistaken for gemstones by anyone who does not know better. But they are not jewels. Dissolved in wine, a single crystal closes the throat from within. The muscles tighten. The victim cannot draw breath. Hands claw at the neck, as though something invisible is strangling them from the inside. The face darkens. Death follows quickly. And that is what makes the Strangler so horrifying. It does not look like murder. It looks like choking. No stab wound, no blood, no obvious poison in the cup. Just a body collapsing at the table, while everyone around it sees only panic and confusion. The Strangler is not common knowledge, but neither is it forgotten. At the Citadel, the study of poisons is part of a maester's training. It earns a link of lead in the chain, and by all accounts, it is a field many pursue with interest. In Lys, the alchemists are said to know the making of refined poisons as well. And in Braavos, the faceless men need no explanation. Healers, poisoners, assassins, three very different worlds, all circling the same dangerous knowledge. That matters because the Strangler is not simply deadly. It is precise, elegant, easy to hide. The kind of poison used not in chaos, but in careful plans. And the first time we see it used, the plan fails. On Dragonstone, Maester Cressen watched Stannis Baratheon drift further under the influence of Melisandre, the Red Priestess he feared more than any army. So he turned to the poison he had learned about long ago at the Citadel. The Strangler. At a feast, Cressen dropped the crystal into a cup of wine and offered it to Melisandre. He intended to share the cup, trusting the poison would take her before it took him. She drank. Nothing happened. Cressen drank. And the Strangler killed the man who brought it. It is one of the most unsettling poison scenes in the story, because it tells us two things at once. First, the Strangler is real. Second, there are forces in this world that even a perfect poison does not always touch. Cressen died believing knowledge would save Stannis. Instead, he learned that knowledge has limits. The Strangler appears again in a far more patient plot. A silver hairnet is given to Sansa Stark by Sir Dontos Hollard, who tells her the dark purple stones woven into it are black amethysts from Ashai. A foolish gift, a pretty gift, a magic gift, he calls it. He tells her to wear it to King Joffrey's wedding feast. She does, and she never realizes that she is carrying poison into the hall. Those dark purple amethysts are not gems at all. They are crystals of the Strangler, set into silver and hidden in plain sight. Around her throat, in her hair, resting against the skin of a girl who has no idea she is wearing the murder weapon. That is what makes this plot so perfect. The poison enters the feast openly. No one stops it because no one sees it for what it is. And here, the Strangler becomes something even more interesting than a poison. It becomes a chain. Petyr Baelish procures the crystals. Dontos passes the hairnet to Sansa. Sansa wears it to the wedding. During the feast, Olenna Tyrell moves close to the girl, fusses over her hair, and removes one of the dark stones, a single crystal. Later, Joffrey drinks from the poisoned cup, and the whole court watches a king die choking in his mother's arms. That is what makes the Strangler so different from an ordinary murder weapon. No single moment announces it. No one person seems to hold the blade. The poison moves from hand to hand, hidden inside innocence, courtesy, and performance, until finally it reaches the cup. And when the king dies, the blame falls where the plot intended it to fall. On Tyrion Lannister, not the poisoner, not the planner, the convenient target, a crystal no larger than a seed. That is all it took. Because the Strangler did not only kill Joffrey, it unleashed consequences that ran far beyond the wedding feast. Tyrion was accused, imprisoned, condemned, and forced into the trial that ended with blood in the throne room and a crossbow bolt in Tywin Lannister. One murder opened the path to another. With Tywin gone, the balance of power inside King's Landing began to collapse. Cersei rose without restraint. Old alliances frayed. New disasters followed. And across the narrow sea, the man falsely condemned for the poisoning of a king was sent east toward a queen with dragons. That is the true nature of the Strangler. It kills one person. Then it keeps killing through consequence. Not with more crystals, with everything that happens after the throat closes. If you want more secrets uncovered from the world of Westeros, subscribe and stay with us. And tell me in the comments, who was the real killer of Joffrey? The hand that placed the poison, or the mind that built the plan? Westeros within. The stories they never told you.